I'm going to show you how to get a valet trash contract. I'm RJ with National Trash Relay. Let's get into it. When thinking about valet trash as a service, the hardest thing in this business is sales. Like anything, right? If you're a good salesman, it's going to work out for you. If you need to work on your sales technique and routine, when you get into valet trash, it's super simple, right? You create your business, get your marketing materials, you make appointments with property management companies or properties, you get the agreement with them, and then you implement your service, and then you rinse and repeat, and you expand from there. So when we talk about getting a valet trash contract, how do we do that? What are the steps that we need to take, to secure something, right? First off, you need to find leads. So just create an Excel spreadsheet or a Google Sheets, whatever it might be, and go through and start doing pre-research, apartments.com, local area that you might know, apartments near me, searching online, whatever it might be, and just start making a list of apartment complexes. That's the easiest way to do it. Apartment name, address, phone number, and then put a section for property manager, and then put another section that says your touch point or your follow-up date, whatever it might be. You can call. A lot of times you'll get stopped by the salesperson or a receptionist, whoever that might be. Your best opportunity is to physically go into a location and just say, hey, I'm so-and-so valet trash company. I'd like to speak with the property manager, about our amenity. Sometimes you'll get all the way through the property manager. Sometimes the salesperson will be like, oh, they're not here today, whatever it might be. This is where a marketing material will come in. You can leave it behind, right? And then when it comes down to sourcing leads and finding more leads, at that point, you've already created this list, right, with so many apartment complexes out there and so many opportunity, you can easily have a list of 30, 40, 50 ready to go off the bat, right? So finding the lead is the easy part. Next is walking in and trying to meet the property manager. And a lot of times you can create your elevator pitch. We're so-and-so with Valet Trash Company. We do door-to-door valet trash service. We actually are an amenity that brings you revenue. We charge you a service fee. You go ahead and you double that service fee and you add it to the apartment complex residents. So we actually help you make money or increase your return on investment or your revenue with your management group or ownership group. Does that sound interesting to you? Can we set up a meeting, right? A lot of times, let's set up a meeting. We'll go more in depth. When you get a meeting, the next thing you want to do is you want to have your marketing or sales package or sales kit ready to go, which on average is usually just a folder, benefits to the property, benefits to the residents, how the service works if they're unfamiliar with it, and then potential violation reports on what that looks like. If someone leaves out too much trash, like what that might look like as something that you would give the property manager so that they can inform them, hey, you left this out, or hey, we have to fine you. And then on top of that is a pricing structure sheet. So with them, you put in your service fee, you put in like I said, on average, just kind of double your fee and say, hey, you can charge whatever you want, whatever you think that the resident would be comfortable paying, or you'd be comfortable charging back to the resident. But this is just an estimate of what we're charging and what you're charging. Right away, your fee is absorbed by the resident paying back to the property management company. So when you actually sit down and have a meeting, you can spread all this out, you can talk to them, you can go through it, you can leave them with the numbers. Immediately after the meeting is done, follow up with an email. It was great meeting you today. Attached, again, are the things that we talked about in the meeting, and attach the things from the sales kit, right? The pricing structure, all that stuff. I would like to set up the next meeting with you or your regional vice president if needed. And this kind of goes back to that sales meeting. When you're in the meeting, you want to find how much of a qualified lead they are. And you do this by asking leading questions, right? So you ask them questions that they're giving you the answer to, and you can use that information within your notes going forward. So right away, usually one that I like to use is, I took a drive through the apartment complex. I noticed there's some trash around the bins. Do you have issues with that? Or what's the largest trash issue that you see with your residents? Right away, they're telling you their pain point. Oh, well, half the units just leave their bags out, in front of the door, and it just creates leaks and spills. And then we have to come in and power wash every, 3 months. All right, right away, now they've given you something that is a pain point for them, that you can come back to them and say, well, this is exactly what our service, offers, right? We give each resident a trash container. They put their trash in it, we service it. It reduces leaks, it reduces spills. We have a waterproof bag, a leak-proof bag that we put all of our trash in as we go door to door, so there's no leaks or spills around the complex. And so right away you're hitting those pain points, right? Of like, we can solve your problem. Trash is a problem and we'll solve it. So from there, the conversation can lead into other directions. And then when you get into the pricing side, you can say, our fee is, for an example, $15 per door, and we're suggesting that you charge $30 per door back, right? You can right away from their face, you can kind of get an adjustment of what they feel the price point is. And you can make adjustments on the fly if you want. If they kind of, cringe or pull back a little bit, you can always say, instead of saying, is my pricing too high, or, whatever that might be, you can actually ask them a question of, what do you feel would be a comfortable amount that you would charge back to the resident, right? And if they say, oh, well, maybe like 25, I think the resident would be comfortable paying 25 a door, then right away you can say, if you're in the business owner opportunity, right? If they say 25 a door, you can then say, all right, well, here's the deal. I'm the owner. I'm the one that's gonna be out here servicing, or my valet. So what I can do is, let's half that. I can do $12.50 per door, and we will, make the adjustment on the information. I'll send it to you and we'll go from there. That's great. Okay, now you've already, once again, you've hit the pain points earlier of what they're trying to, get from the issues that they have with trash. Now you've gotten through the, pricing issue. And this is why usually I use 15 as an example, but I'll come in at $16.95 to $18.95 a door, because then it gives you fluctuation down, right? So on the fly, you can say, hey, we're at 18 a door. I don't think I can charge $36 back to my resident. Okay, well, what would be a comfortable amount? Well, 32. That's great. Since I'm the owner, I can go down to 16. We can do 16 per door, and then that way you can charge 32 to the resident, right? Once you sell your service, you don't, it's up to the property management company to charge back. So even if you sell your service at $16 and you find a super luxury apartment complex that took you at $16, but they're charging $62, it's not on you to go back and say, renegotiate that contract, right? It's your service fee is your service fee, and you need to be comfortable with being able to do the work for that fee, and hire a valet if you need to, or pay your insurances or whatever it might be. So it's good to kind of create a budget and go from there. So additional leading questions you can ask is, say, we're really looking for a partnership in this, right? Because our agreements are 3 years long, right? On average, they're 3 years long. So we're looking for someone that we can partner with and potentially grow within your, property management portfolio, because a lot of times they have more than one, and if you get in with one, you can easily grow to their other locations and expand your business pretty quickly. We're looking for a partnership. What do you view the timeline on integrating a valet trash service like this to your property would be? Are you thinking within the next month, within the next 6 months? What would that be? And they're going to tell you, and this right there qualifies them on how serious of a lead they are up front, right? Well, we actually have a new management group in, and they're looking to move quickly because they want to recoup revenue from the money that they had to use for the sale, for the purchase, right? So in that case, now we can, right away, that they are elevated to a very high priority and that they're willing to sign an agreement quicker. Where someone's like, oh, well, we're just kind of getting contracts right now. Our regional vice president asked us to kind of look into it. So, maybe in, the next 6 months or so. Okay, I know where you are on my lead list now. So they will, for the most part, give you the information you're looking for. The best opportunity for you is if you come across an apartment complex that already has the service and you sit down with them. It's great because you don't have to inform them of the service. They already know how the whole process works. And at that point, they're just looking for price and a better opportunity to, or service provider to give to their ownership group. So with them, it's pretty simple. Ask them very forward, how much are you currently paying per month? Because we can beat it by 25 cents a door. A lot of times they'll jump all over that and be like, oh, we're paying $16.50 right now. Well, okay, I can even do you one better. I feel comfortable. I can do this at $16 per door, right? So a lot of times they'll tell you, like 98% of the time they'll tell you what it is. Some will be, oh, just give me your bid. I kind of laugh at that sometimes because they're shooting themselves in the foot, because they could be getting better pricing if they, just understood that if they talk to you, you could, work out a better deal, because I'm here to, once again, form a partnership with you. I'm not here to turn and burn and, have a valet come that doesn't do the job or doesn't show up or whatever that might be. So that's really part of the sales process and asking the leading questions, and pretty much end it with, that's great, this meeting was fantastic. What's your next steps with this? Do you need to talk to your regional? Do you need to talk to your ownership group? I'm happy to present again to them if they have additional questions. Oh, you need to talk to your regional? Great. When do you think that will be? Next Wednesday? That's fantastic. I'll follow up on that Thursday, right? So right away, you're getting all the information you need, you're setting expectations with them, and then you leave the apartment complex, you follow up with them. When you finally come to the terms of the agreement, you have your contract in place. Like I said, on average, it's 3 years. You can try to get 5 years if you want. Sometimes that happens more on renewals because you'll come maybe a little bit lower pricing, but you want a more guarantee of a longer, option. So on your 3-year agreement with them, you submit, they sign off on it, you go to service. But the beautiful part is you want to build in time to prep the community that you're coming in. So even though you're signing the agreement, you're still gonna say, hey, we're signing the agreement now, unless they really want you to start up front, like right away. Otherwise, you'll say, hey, we're gonna build in 4 weeks because I wanna flyer the community that we're coming. I wanna flyer the community that we're essentially bringing trash containers and what that service looks like, especially if they've never had the service before. You need to essentially teach now, if it's a 300-unit apartment complex, you have to teach 300 individual people how to set trash out. It sounds like a really easy and straightforward, put bag in bin, set out, but you would be surprised that sometimes people up front are just putting too much trash or they're not bagging properly, and that's stuff that you just have to train them over the next couple months while you're on site servicing the trash. So you build in about a 4-week span and say, hey, I want to flyer them, I want to get them prepared, and then on this day we will drop containers, which you provide a trash container that's branded for your apartment complex, and you can get those almost at any. You could go to Lowe's or Home Depot and try and set up a wholesale account. In our training program, we do provide information on a wholesaler that uses these specifically for valet trash, and they're fire retardant and they're ready to go for apartment complexes, which you'll need stuff like that, and they will brand your trash containers for you. Outside of that, if you go to like your Lowe's, Home Depot, and you try and do a larger one, you'll get a trash container. It may have a lid, it may not have a lid. And then at that point, I would recommend branding your trash containers. You can either buy stickers, slap the stickers on. You can do a stencil with a spray paint real quick, whatever you want to do. And then once that is done and you set those trash containers by their doors, you have your service start date. You have your over-the-shoulder bag, you go and service, and you're good to go. We've gone through finding the leads, having the meeting, signing the agreement, and starting the service, right? So those are like just the 4 main points of it. And then at that point, once you're in 3 to 6 months, go back to that property and just say, hey, at this point, we talked about partnership. I would like to move forward with some of your other properties that you have under your management. So let's talk about that, or put me in touch with your regional vice president, which you probably met at the time, and then you can look to expand your business. And you can expand it within one company fairly easily and grow. So on average, if we just take $15, right? If we take $15 per door and it's a 300-unit apartment complex, one apartment complex at 300 units is bringing you $4,500 a month. Now, if you find someone that's got multiple apartment complexes, which most of them do, because once they get into that business, they start to grow their own portfolio, you're adding almost $4,500 each time you're bringing on a new apartment complex. You bring on another one, now you're at $9,000. You bring on another one, now you're at $13,500. You can get up to a point where you can make $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 pretty quickly off of one complex. And at that point, you're looking to hire, staff to help valets, service the apartment complexes and pick up trash, which at that point you're only paying, $20, $25 an hour, and they're, done on a part-time job basis. So it's a really great option to, go in and how you can, secure your contract with an apartment complex and how you can integrate your service. Go ahead and like and subscribe to this video. Keep an eye out for more. If you want to come over to nationaltrashvalet.com, I've got a training program that can teach you how to start your own valet trash business in any part of the US. Otherwise, see you in the next one.